Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday morning, or is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday morning. Wow. You know, time flies when the legislature is at least not meeting. It seems like we're a little bit safer, even though they are in session. Anyway, speaking of that, that's kind of what I wanted to talk with you a little bit about today. Talk to you about the current legislative session. Now, some of you might have noticed that the makeup of the California legislature has changed a little bit. In fact, Democrats now have a 2/3 majority in both houses, which, by the way, is no big surprise. At least it's not a surprise to us. And it's kind of funny because when we look at who lost, for the most part, we pretty much predicted who would win and who would lose in a lot of cases, or at least the general makeup of the legislature. And part of that is based on our legislative report card, or the grades that we gave legislators. Now, there seems to be this, I don't know if we want to call it a myth or we want to call it an idea, but there seems to be this thing where people seem to think, well, gosh, you know, I gotta be party, and I won't say which party, that are normally pro-Second Amendment. There seems to be this thing where some of them seem to think, well, gosh, you know, maybe if I vote with the other side on an issue or two or on a bill or two, that that maybe Democrats will like me. Oh, did I say the party? I did, didn't I? Okay, anyway, but maybe the Democrats will like me if I vote with them on a particular bill or two. Especially, oh my God, especially if it's a really popular issue, like maybe, I don't know, guns. So that's what we have. We have a few legislative Republicans who were in tight races in very tight districts, who decided that, you know, during this last legislative session, they decided maybe we'll vote with the Democrats on some gun bills, and maybe then the Democrats will like us. Well, as it turns out, no, that didn't work. In fact, we were going back and we were looking through, kind of doing a little bit of an analysis of legislative members, how they voted, and how their elections turned out. Chief among them was Assemblywoman Ling Chang. Now, she was running for state senate. She got 2017, she actually got an A with us. She had voted with us just about every single time. But because she was running in an election year, she decided, well, maybe I'll fudge on a couple of issues. In fact, she voted for both AB 1135 and SB 880. Those are both of the bullet button bans. She also voted for AB 1965, which expanded a list of prohibited persons. Basically people who are not allowed to own firearms anymore. So, interestingly, she wound up losing in a very, very close race. Now, normally I wouldn't say much about her opponent except to say this. I would encourage you to YouTube Mr. Josh Newman, Senator Josh Newman, and make sure you include bear arms, the right to bear arms. Because when he was running, I actually took the time to look him up. And lo and behold, here comes a video of a guy in a bear suit. That is his right to bear arms. That is his position on the right to bear arms. So I say that to say that Ling Chang, who decided to vote anti-gun in order to win votes, actually wound up losing to a guy in a bear suit. Enough said on her. There was also Assemblyman Eric Linder. Now, Assemblyman Linder, you might remember, probably his claim to fame, at least on gun issues, largely had to do with his vote in favor of SB 707. That was the bill that basically removed CCW holders from the exemption from the Gun-Free Zone Act, which basically meant that every CCW holder who normally would be protected, who normally would have the right to be able to defend themselves on a college or university or high school or school campus, they no longer have that right. Well, sure enough, he lost. David Hadley voted for AB 857. He got a C+ with us in 2015. Last year, this year he got a D+. He voted for AB 857, which had to do with which is basically one of the ghost gun bills. And sure enough, he lost. Now, you would think that they would understand kind of a very basic message, and this is something that I try to get folks to understand, that there's no such thing as a single issue anti-Second Amendment or anti-gun voter. I won't say there's no such thing. I'm just saying they are very rare. But I'm sure every single person that's watching this either is or at least knows single issue pro-gun voters. And chances are, if you're in a Republican district, those are the voters that can make up that make the difference between you getting elected or not getting elected, or you getting reelected or not getting reelected. And I think that, here's the interesting part, I think that there are some Democrats who actually got that. Democrats in marginal seats. So for example, Senator Richard Roth, Assemblyman Jim Frazier, Assemblyman Adam Gray, and Assemblyman Rudy Salas Jr. all earned A's on our report card, meaning that they voted largely pro-Second Amendment and pro-gun. And guess what? Every single one of them won re-election. Let that sink in for a minute. Every single one of the Democrats who voted pro-gun won re-election. And yet, and was this 3 out of the 4? There was one Republican who voted anti-gun who did not, or who did win re-election. That would be Assemblywoman Catherine Baker. She's out of the Bay Area. But then again, she's never tried to purport herself to be a Second Amendment advocate. You know, she takes each issue as it comes, and she generally tends to not vote with us. But one important time where she did vote with us and was one of the deciding votes had to do with the killing of AB 2459. That's the bill that would have required videotaping and video recording 24/7, 365 in all gun stores. But she was a key vote in order to help kill that. Look, folks, I'm just trying to get you I'm trying to get folks to understand and at least get some of the politicians as we get ready to head back into this legislative cycle. Look, here's the deal. Don't change your position on issues based on whether or not you believe it's going to get you reelected. Do what you believe is right. I'm willing to bet that in most of these cases, these members did not believe that voting that way was consistent with what they believed. But guess what? They voted against what they believed, and they got what they deserved. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Let's see what your 2 cents is. Let's see what you folks have to say about this. Get to the video. Here we are. Get to the video. I got to find a faster way to do this. Okay, here we go. What are folks saying? No, Phil, I will not be saying that comment. Your 3D printed 308. Yeah, no, thank you. Let's see. I'm hoping the U.S. government steps in to protect our rights. That's from Jerry. Look, the U.S. government, here's the thing you got to understand is there's going to be a fight between, two competing issues, the right to keep and bear arms and states' rights. It's not going to be as easy as I think some of us think it's going to be. It's important, and I think it's going to be an important step, an important battle, but you just got to know, I wouldn't count on that making the difference anytime real soon. Let's see here. Okay, so here we have Roger Chang said he's Taiwanese American, and I think Ling Chang is a backstabbing traitor. Well, hey, you're entitled to your opinion. I think she made a mistake. I think that there are people who are talking to people who are telling them, hey, maybe if you do this, maybe if you are Democrat light or anti-gun light, then maybe you won't lose any votes. Here's the thing. The people to whom that issue is important weren't going to vote for you anyway. Period. And if it's really important to them that you be anti-Second Amendment, then guess what? They're going to go all the way. They're not going to go halfway. They're not going to go for somebody who voted for some bills and against some bills. No, they're going to go for somebody who voted their way the entire time. So it just doesn't make any sense. You open yourself up to being disappointed. How much money do anti-gun people get from the anti-gun billionaires? You'd probably have to go to the Secretary of State's website and look up each of the candidates and look and see how much money they raised. I know that at least in terms of PR and lobbying, I know that a significant amount of resources are spent. I think they look at very targeted races. I don't think that you're looking at them giving money to Republicans versus Democrats. I really do think they're looking for, if you have a Democrat who is kind of not real big on gun issues, that means they're not vocal on it, they're not really doing anything on it, they will try to replace them with another Democrat who is rabidly anti-gun. I think they believe that is a better use of their resources. But voting anti-gun has its rewards as well. Consider the re-election of anti-gun Democrats. Here's the thing: anti-gun Democrats, honestly, it's not the gun issue alone that's getting them reelected. They're getting reelected on a whole host of issues, like taxing the job creators, like killing, saving the environment by killing jobs, forcing low-income students, low-income kids to stay in failed schools. Those are the things that get Democrats or get folks on that side reelected. I apologize if I offended any of y'all who are Democrats, but look at your folks' voting record. Where are we at here? Pete Silva was a single-issue voter. Told you. How likely is the national CCW? I have absolutely no idea, and I don't think anyone really knows right now. It's probably not going to be the president's first item on the president's agenda, but who knows? We'll see what comes out of Congress. Any possibility of passing a bill assigning liability to gun-free zone owners? Well, I'll put it to you this way: there's a chance that one could be introduced. The chance of it passing, slim to none. Keep in mind, these are folks who actually want to place liability on gun dealers, people who sell firearms, and gun manufacturers. Even if they do everything legal when it comes to selling their product, even if they do all of the background checks and all of that, and there's nothing defective with their product, they want to try and expand that. And at the federal level, they're seeking to try and do that. Right now, it's not that you cannot sue a gun manufacturer. It's not that you can't sue or go after a gun dealer, but they have to do something illegal. They have to not fulfill their responsibility. They have to be negligent. Their product has to malfunction. I mean, there's got to be something more than just, oh, you sold a gun to this person and they went out and did something bad. That'd be like suing somebody because, okay, you sold a car and someone went out and hit somebody with that car, so now we're going to sue Ford or GM or one of those folks. But you're not going to see, I think it would be interesting to see legislation introduced which would allow you to sue. I don't know that there's a prohibition on it. That's actually would be a very good question for me to find out, whether or not there's a prohibition on the ability to be able to sue someone in a gun-free zone in the event that you're injured because you weren't able to defend yourself. But that, once again, that's a very good question. In any case, folks, I've just about hit my time for today. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll look forward to speaking with you again tomorrow. You folks, stay safe out there. Stay free.
If you like these updates, please share them with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel.